Welcome to another Fantasy Rugby Draft how-to clip. In this session, what we're going to try and cover is the draft, the various functions in the draft, how to select your team for the season, and the different bits around how to create and join a league at the start. So the most important thing at the beginning of each league is to understand when your draft day is. So when you're joining a league, when you're creating a league, the most important thing to try and find is when is that draft date, when is that draft time. So I've logged in here, you can see that up above here. If I go to join a league, join a public league, now you can see in here, this is the draft time. So this is when ideally you're in front of a laptop or in front of a computer so that you can individually select who you want to be on your team. Now this is the most fun and probably the most important part of setting up your team, and it is quite a lot of pressure. You've got 90 seconds to choose, but at the moment all you need to do when you're setting up is figure out when that time is so that you can be in front of a laptop. Let's go and have a look into that. It's called the Red Crusade. Once you've joined a league or created one, that'll pop up on your side, on the right hand side here. So we'll go to Red Crusade. Now this join draft button doesn't appear till T-minus 2 hours before your draft time here, so don't be alarmed if you don't see that join draft button. So within 2 hours of that, press the join draft button and it'll load up the draft for you. Now this draft here is probably pretty close to starting. You can see there's numbers counting down on the top here. If it's in red, it means it hasn't started yet, and it's counting down to 0. So any time from 2 hours out up to 0, that'll show in red. The first thing to look for on the right is your picking order. So look for your team. You're the one that'll be highlighted in red here. In this instance, my team is Paula Barley. So you can see just quickly that the draft has just now started. So because the first 5 people weren't online, they have been auto-picked based on the rankings that we've preset them in. You can see the rankings that we have here. This is 1 through, I don't know, there's about 500. I think we rank up to about 200. So if you're not there, or if you lose your connection, then you will be allocated the highest ranked player for your team. So you can see I had 90 seconds to start with. I'm down now to 64 seconds. These are the requirements to fill your team. So your starting team needs to have 3 outside backs, 2 midfielders, 1 fly half, 1 half back, 2 loose forwards, 1 lock, and 1 front row. And your bench is 6 players, and you can make it up of any position at all. If you had a particular player that you were looking for, you can just search in here. If you wanted to look for a particular position, say, I don't know, loose forward, you can do a bit of filtering here. At this early on, you probably should know who you want to draft, and it should be, I'm not going to tell you who to draft, but it should be somewhere in the top half of the page here. In this specific instance, I'm probably going to stick with my ranking and go with Lima Sapawanga. So when you select them, you can see the various statistics up the top here as well that they've got. This is the average points per game. You can see I've got 8 seconds to select that now. So if I press draft, you'll see that he's been slotted into my fly half position, and it's now on to Rita Philpott's turn to actually draft. So when you've made your picks, you can check them out in the your team here. And they will auto-fill into there as well, just to give you an idea of what position you may need, or what's coming up. Just basically how to plan your next few picks. So there's also a chat function in here. So if you wanted to have a bit of banter with Rita, for instance, and say send a bit of encouragement and support his way, or alternatively. A different type of encouragement, you can do that as well. This just kind of tries to unsettle the manager, to distract him. Anything you can do to make their life a little bit more difficult for those 90 seconds, you need to be able to grasp. Little things like is always a favourite as well. That seems to unsettle a lot of players. If you wanted to see how the draft was going and where these picks had actually come from so far, you can have a look in the picks tab here. Just click on it and it'll open out, and you can see the last 8 picks. These are what they've been. Another useful tool I use is the teams itself. So in here, I'll wait till the auto draft teams are gone. You can select a team that you want to have a look at. Let's have a look at Rita Philpott's team. Now he's only had one person that he selected, and it was an auto pick because he timed out. But you can get a feel on it's a bit more useful down the track when you're actually in the draft, so you can see, I see that Rita doesn't have a fly half yet. He's got heaps of outside backs, he's got heaps of midfielders, he's probably going to pick a fly half next. So if I've got a need at fly half, then I know that I have to pick before him, or if I think there's only one person that I definitely need to pick before him. So it just provides you with a little bit more information around what your fellow draftees are doing, and can give you that little edge to figure out what your strategy is for your next pick. And you can order all of these if you want as well. So at the moment it's ordered by rank, but if you wanted to just look at the Highlanders, for instance, and you wanted to have a look at the halfbacks for the Highlanders, for instance, or sorry, it goes like that, and then you can look for it. So I think I jumped over quickly just looking at the different statistics you can look at. So all of these statistics pre-draft are available in the player hub. So well, let's go and have a look. So if you go into the player hub from this homepage here, from inside the Red Crusade, you can have a toggle around here and have a look at the statistics, and if you wanted to do a bit of analysis on where players should be drafted and that type of thing, the player hub's where you should do it. So going back to the draft. You can see that it's me on the clock again. So the way that the snake draft works, it goes 1 through 10 first, and then it comes snakes back to 11 to 20. So if you have the first pick, your next pick is not till the 20th pick, but you do have the 21st as well. That's just to even out the teams. So I can see now that my next, I've already got a fly half. So my options are everybody, but in my view, I think Mike Harris is probably going to have a decent season kicking goals for the Rebels, and there's not many midfielders that do that, so I think he's a valuable pick, which is why I'm going to draft him. Now it does leave my team a little bit light on outside backs, which are of significant importance in Fantasy Rugby Draft, but let's see what comes back to me. Right, so you can see all of these auto picks that have happened after me. So my pick was Mike Harris. You can see Jesse Mogg, Boshoff, LaRue, Delend, Karevi, Visania, Tamanavulu, Dag, O'Connor and Jane have all been selected before me. So I need to grab an outside back now, and I'm pretty happy with grabbing James Lowe. I think he's going to have an excellent season. So I think I've got pretty lucky there with Sapawanga Harris and James Lowe as my first picks. Now, that's all we need to cover off here. This goes through till you've filled all your positions here. You can see it totting up. So I've got one outside back, one midfield and one fly half until that 17 and 17 is full. I would stress that the most important thing is to be here for the first half of the draft. You can miss the second half if you really were time short. Then make sure you're there for that first pick, because that first pick, if you have someone specific in mind that isn't necessarily aligned with the rankings, then you need to be online to be able to do that. If you have any questions, send us through a tweet or at Fantasy Rug Draft. That's Fantasy RUG Draft, or hit us up on Facebook, or send us an email on support@fantasyrugbydraft.com. Most of all, enjoy it. It's a hell of a lot of fun drafting. As I said earlier, the 90 seconds fly past pretty quickly, and you may know the first couple of rounds, but the key is After that, know your rankings, figure out if you've got any sleepers that you want to grab, know who you're drafting with as well to see when actually those sleepers, in which round they may go, so that you don't get disappointed in not getting any of your sleepers. But most of all, have fun. Hope you enjoy it. Good luck during the season. Thanks.